Welcome to the forest floor, a realm of pure deception, where some fungi bleed red fluid like a fresh wound, and others look exactly like a piece of human brain. We trust our eyes to keep us safe from lethal threats. But in the fungal kingdom, your vision will betray you. You might assume a hideous, deformed organism is naturally packed with a deadly venom, and you probably believe a beautiful, pristine plant is perfectly safe to cook and eat. Relying on that basic human instinct out here is a guaranteed recipe for a fatal mistake. Some of the most terrifying alien growths are actually considered premium gourmet foods, while the most flawless, appetizing caps in the dirt hold pure, concentrated murder inside. Today, we expose the unforgiving, deceptive, and terrifying reality of fungal twins. Take a close look at the corn smut, a fungus that is also widely known as Whitlacoche. It aggressively infects corn and swells into massive, gray, horrific, tumorous blobs. Any rational, visually driven person would immediately throw this diseased mutation away. Yet, it is a highly prized, extremely expensive culinary masterpiece in modern kitchens. Now shift your focus to the foolish webcap, sporting a lovely and warm brown hue. It appears totally harmless, strongly resembling standard grocery store mushroom fare. But consuming even a minuscule amount of this cap will permanently destroy your kidneys. Evolution clearly did not paint obvious warning signs for the sake of human convenience. People falsely believe that shocking neon colors always indicate extreme, lethal danger. Yes, the iconic red and white fly agaric is packed with powerful hallucinogenic neurotoxins. But let us examine the brilliant indigo milk-cap mushroom growing on the forest floor. It radiates an unnatural, shocking, alien blue coloration the moment you slice it open. It looks exactly like something dangerous synthesized in a high-tech chemical laboratory. Despite the incredibly artificial appearance, it is totally edible and surprisingly tasty. Meanwhile, the deadly dapperling wears a completely boring, dull, and generic beige coat. It looks remarkably ordinary, but contains highly concentrated, organ-melting amatoxins. So, if vibrant hues mean absolutely nothing out here, what about physical chemical reactions? Many amateur foragers claim that if a stem turns blue, it is instantly toxic or magical. The scientific reality of this drastic chemical shift is vastly more confusing and chaotic. Consider the cornflower bolete, an incredibly strange and fascinating woodland specimen. Slice the stalk, and the crisp white flesh instantly turns a deep, alarming shade of indigo. It looks like an aggressive, dangerous chemical contamination, reacting with the open air. However, when properly prepared over a hot stove, it transforms into a marvelous, edible treat. But wait, the devil's bolete exhibits the exact same violent blue bruising when damaged. Eat that specific fungus, and you will endure endless hours of agonizing physical sickness. The sudden, terrifying color change is merely rapid cellular oxidation happening in real time. It is completely unrelated to the hidden presence of deadly alkaloids or poisonous compounds. This terrifying unpredictability brings us to the ultimate woodland threat, the doppelganger. These are highly toxic mimics that perfectly copy the appearance of gourmet woodland favorites. Imagine excitedly harvesting a massive basket of gorgeous, golden yellow chanterelle mushrooms. They are an absolute culinary favorite among high-end restaurant chefs all around the globe. But return to that exact same forest patch hours later, long after the glowing sun goes down. You might suddenly notice an eerie, ghostly green glow emitting from the caps you left behind. You have just unknowingly gathered a basket of bioluminescent jack-o'-lantern fungi. They cleverly utilize this glowing light to attract passing insects for rapid spore dispersal. Eating this glowing trickster will not put you in an early grave, but you will suffer deeply. The resulting violent gastric distress will have you begging for mercy on the bathroom floor. Yet, the glowing jack-o'-lantern is entirely harmless compared to the horrors of the false morel. Every single spring, hopeful hunters scour the damp woods for the highly prized true morel. They feature a remarkably distinct pitted cap resembling a natural, dried oceanic sponge. Unfortunately, the lethal false morel aggressively grows in the exact same damp environments. To an untrained, overly eager beginner, they look terrifyingly identical from a top-down view. But slice them open, and the true edible version is completely hollow on the inside. The deadly false mimic is completely filled with dense, structurally weird, cotton-like fibers. This deceptive impostor contains a highly volatile, invisible substance called gyrometrin. Your digestive tract forcefully breaks this down into a compound called monomethylhydrazine. That is the exact same highly unstable toxic chemical utilized to power aerospace rocket fuel. Another horrifying case of mistaken fungal identity involves the highly sought-after velvet shank. It is a delicious, cold-weather staple beloved by thousands of experienced foragers everywhere. But it shares its immediate habitat with the deeply dreaded and lethal funeral bell mushroom. This is a generic little brown fungus that perfectly blends into the dead leaves and background. It also heavily mimics certain sought-after hallucinogenic species that thrill seekers hunt for. Eating the funeral bell while carelessly chasing a psychedelic trip is an absolute disaster. You will unknowingly ingest the exact same lethal compounds found in the infamous death caps. Your liver and your kidneys will slowly and painfully shut down over the course of several days. While you sit around anxiously waiting for a magical, mind-altering high that never arrives. This brutal realization leads us to the most dangerous and persistent survival myth of them all. The fatal widespread assumption that a deadly, lethal poison will taste incredibly bitter. Fortunate survivors of lethal poisonings almost always share a deeply chilling identical detail. The quiet mushroom that nearly ended their lives tasted absolutely phenomenal on the dinner plate. There is no acidic burn on the tongue, no foul warning odor, and absolutely no chemical aftertaste. The incredibly infamous death cap is frequently described by victims as being sweet and nutty. By the time the severe, crippling nausea finally hits, 12 to 24 hours later, the insidious, invisible toxins have already permanently bound themselves to your internal cells. You absolutely cannot neutralize the deadly danger by vigorously boiling or freezing the flesh, and your trusting taste buds will never ever warn you of the impending biological doom inside. So, is there a simple, foolproof visual trick to guarantee your safety in the deep, dark woods? Absolutely not. There are no magical silver coin tests, no peeling hacks, and no color rules. The only reliable armor you possess out here is uncompromising, exact, and scientific knowledge. You must be able to identify the specific specimen 100%, right down to the spores. The wild, untamed forest is overwhelmingly full of incredible, delicious, and nutritious treasures. But it ruthlessly guards those precious treasures with silent, unforgiving biological assassins. Always remember the oldest, truest, and most vital saying among the worldwide foraging community. There are incredibly old mushroom foragers, and there are exceptionally bold mushroom foragers. But there are 0 old and bold mushroom foragers left walking the surface of the earth today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and comment your wildest nature stories. Stay intensely curious, stay incredibly safe, and absolutely never consume what you do not know.